As a Muslim, I'm against every form of racism, not only as a Muslim, as a human being. I'm against every form of racism and segregation, and will unite with anybody who is genuinely involved in a struggle against racism and discrimination. But I don't go for these mediocre efforts, these pronouncements, and then mediocre efforts against racism and discrimination. We don't want to get involved in that. I think that racism is a crime, that it's criminal, and that our people in this country are the chief victims of that crime. And as far as I'm concerned, when a racist comes to practice his racism against me, I intend to fight him, not nonviolently. I think that I am justified, and any black man is justified, in fighting in any means necessary, by any means necessary, against anyone who comes to inflict him with any kind of brutal harm whatsoever. And I think that that kind of thinking is increasing among our people in this country, whether people want to hear it or not. You can give out all the peace prizes on earth. That's not going to make the people who aren't at peace be at peace. In fact, I might even say, offhandedly, that if I was in a battle following a general, and they started giving him peace prizes before the battle was won and before the war was over, he'd have a lot of trouble out of me. I couldn't accept a prize for peace as a leader of people while my people have no peace. Peace is a two-way street. It's not something that's supposed to be considered by just one people or just one person or just one side. The press in this country is used and has been used very skillfully to create images. And in creating these images, it actually misleads people, confuses people, to the point where though we here in America live in a racist society, we're the victims of racism, we're the victims of segregation, we're the victims of these injustices, but when we cry out against these injustices in an uncompromising language, we are the ones who are called racists, and we are the ones who are called extremists, and we are the ones who are called for no reason other than the fact that we take an uncompromising stand against racism. They call us racist. Or because we take an uncompromising stand against segregationists, they call us segregationists. This is the press that does this. So that when we start crying out against the crime, instead of people looking at us as victims of the crime who are reacting to the crime, they see us in the image that the press has created, as racists who have no justification whatsoever for reflecting the type of attitude that we do. And this press is used very skillfully at the local level by the police. It's used at the national level by the FBI. It's used at the international level by the CIA for doing nothing other than creating images that will justify at the local level whatever the police want to do to their victims, or at the national level whatever the FBI wants to do to its victims, or at the international level whatever the CIA wants to do to its victims. They create the victim in the image of an extremist. And once the victim is projected in the image of an extremist, then everything the victim does, even to defend itself from other people's extremism, is an act of extremism. They create the victim in the image of someone who's violent, and then when the victim is doing something, is struggling vigorously to protect itself from the violence of others, the victim is made to appear in the image of a criminal itself, and the criminal is projected in the image of someone who's the victim. The press does this. And the people in this country especially are victimized by it more so than any people, any place on this earth. They create images for the power structure. And in a nutshell, they make the criminal look like the victim, and the victim look like the criminal. The